A member of the WHO has proposed running a simulation exercise before implementing the pandemic treaty and their international health regulation amendments. This comes from a representative for the Global Preparedness Monitoring Board, because they always have to have ridiculously long names, or the GPMB. And this proposal was made at the recent World Health Assembly to ensure preparedness and the effectiveness of it. I've got a video of this proposal right here. This is definitely worth paying attention to. Check this out.
The GPMB is closely monitoring progress in these critically important reforms and processes to strengthen prevention, preparedness, and response to pandemics. It is imperative that they succeed, and we have proposed 3 tests of these reforms, which we published in our manifesto for preparedness earlier this year, that they are sufficiently positively powered, that they will deliver equity and coherence, and do they have robust mechanisms for monitoring and accountability embedded in them. But we have an additional proposal to ensure their success. We feel very strongly that we cannot wait for the next emergency to find out how well the Pandemic Accord and the IHR Amendments will work. We need to know now. We therefore suggest that member states, together with other key stakeholders, carry out a simulation exercise based on the draft accord and the draft IHR amendments later this year, before they are finalized and adopted. It can provide assurance of their effectiveness, help us all as a global community to identify any remaining gaps, and resolve any outstanding areas of disagreement. A simulation exercise beforehand and robust monitoring and accountability following their adoption are 2 ways you can ensure these important instruments fulfill their potential and that we are ready for the next pandemic. We plead with you to give this proposal your consideration. Thank you.
All right. So I think this is very important to pay attention to, because she is claiming the simulation would ensure the success of both the treaty and the amendments. And something we like to pay attention to, I got to be careful how I word this just in case. They always like to do live practice, if you catch my drift. They always like it to tell us what they're going to do, and they like to do live practice. We discovered that with Event 201. And other ones we're not going to get into a giant list because we got a bunch of other stuff to talk about. But they always like to do that. And so if this exercise was to take place, it would happen in the next year. And that's why this is important, as the instruments of the treaty and the amendments are supposed to be adopted May of 2024. So she's talking about within the next year. So this is going to get interesting. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. One of them that I'm watching right now is the bird flu. It's jumping everywhere, and it's getting into people all over the place, and that's definitely something to be watching for. The amendments apply to, these amendments will apply to 196 countries, and the treaty would apply to 194 member states, and both are legally binding under international law. So the question is something coming in the next year as far as this would go? So this is something to pay attention to. This was just proposed at the recent health assembly. So be paying attention, guys.